Hello, Noel. Nice to see you again. We're here to talk about your new album, which is coming out in exactly 13 days.
Wow.
You didn't realize?
Yeah. No, I know it's. I know it's soon. Yeah.
So how does that feel? Exciting?
Well,
You start Googling yourself?
not really. No. How does it feel? I don't know. I don't know. I finished the record off a few months ago, so I guess it's just work now. Do you know what I mean? I was very excited while I was doing it and while I was working on it, and when I finished it off, and that's all done now, and now it's just waiting to go on tour.
Well, I was pretty exciting to hear the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't know what to expect, and what I like
Really?
most about it is that it's pretty hard to describe, because it's not just one sound. It's pretty varying sounds, varying songs.
Well, so they say. I mean, the essence of the songs are quite traditional, but they've got. I try to work on some different sounds, maybe, but I think it's misleading to say it sounds. I think it sounds like what you would expect it to sound. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I guess it's not stadium rock, if that's what you mean, because that's what my former band were, a rock and roll band, you know, and it's not that in any way. So I guess that makes it a little bit different.
I spoke to you, I think 4 years ago, when you were touring, and then you mentioned that you were working on some songs for yourself. Are these those songs, or are these new songs?
Some of them are, yeah. Some of those other songs are going to be on my next album, which is coming out next year. Yeah, these are the songs that I was kind of starting to write then. Like, for instance, maybe The Death of You and Me didn't sound like an Oasis song, so I would finish it off in between gigs and stuff like that.
A friend of you, Paul Weller, once said that you have to wait for songs to come to you. You can't force them. So when did these songs come to you?
All the time. They come out. They usually it's usually in the spring. I don't know why. I don't need to do much writing at this time of the year. I'm not sure why. And I tend to do most of my finishing off when I'm on the road, because that's I get the most peace and quiet. But they kind of find me where, you know, it just depends. I don't really go looking for it. Do you know what I mean? I just strum the guitar and see what happens. Sometimes something happens. Most times nothing happens. You know.
But when did it struck you that, hey, these songs are coming to me, and I think it's time to put out a record?
Well, I already have all the songs written before I go in the studio. So I had 38 songs, ones that were left over from Oasis projects and stuff like that. And I'd had 10 months off, and it was just time. I don't know. You just wake up one night, you go to bed, and you're not thinking about it, and the next day you go up and you think it's time to go back to work. My wife actually told me to go back to work because I was getting on her nerves. But yeah, I just went in for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks more, and then 2 weeks more, and then it all kind of went from there. Really, there was no great plan. I didn't plan to make 2 albums. That just one was born out of another because I had so many songs. So
the two are related. It's not that something completely different is coming out.
I mean, I could, you know, it was either make a double album or make 2 separate albums, but they're all part of the same thing. Some songs are more psychedelic. The next batch of songs are more psychedelic than these ones. These ones are the most direct, and will probably be the most appealing to a wider audience, I would have thought. The next one is a bit of psychedelic fun, really.
I can imagine that it's incredibly freeing to be able to work with whomever you want at whatever time you choose.
Yes, yeah. Particularly after coming out of a band of 18 years where you kind of, you know, it was very rigid, and this is when we start an album, this is when we finish, because then we're going on tour and that's where we're going to play. But I enjoyed that. Do you know what I mean? I like discipline and rules. It's very comforting to know that your life is mapped out for you. Do you know what I mean? So in a way, it's more, as you say, it gives you more freedom, but it's also a little bit, you don't know what's happening from one day to the next, you know. But it has its good points and its bad points, you know. I wouldn't say one was better than the other.
Well, you could have decided to put together a new band and start a new band.
Yeah,
but
But I don't think there'd be any point in that, because I've already been in one of the best bands ever. So what's the point in trying to recreate that? What would you do? Whatever a new band did would always be compared to Oasis, and you would never be able to match that success or level of feeling that people had for you. So what would be the point? Once you've been involved in band politics for 20 years, it's nice to get a break from that and be a dictator. You know, just be on your own, just be your own little man. A one-man band feels good at the moment, but I'm not. You know, I wouldn't say that one is greater than the other. You know, I enjoyed being in a band, and I enjoyed the dynamic and the compromises that you have to make. I was willing to make, and I accepted them.
But I think it's good that you were, when you were doing these songs in the studio, you weren't thinking about how on earth I'm going to do this on a stage, because that would be limiting, I think.
Well, yeah, of course.
You wouldn't have gotten the female orchestra.
I mean, when I was doing it, I didn't have a band. I didn't have any. In Oasis, I always had the big picture, what was going to be the first song we'd play and how it was going to look and all that thing. When I was doing this record, I didn't have a band. I didn't know whether I was gonna even put an album out. I was just in the studio. I didn't announce it to anyone. I just went in the studio for me. So I wasn't really thinking of anything apart from the song that we were doing on that day, and to make it sound the best that it could sound. I wasn't even trying to make them sound different. Do you know what I mean? Those were just the songs that I wrote, and you know, I'm happy they came along at that time. And I might not ever write another batch of songs like this. Do you know what I mean? But I won't go chasing it.
How is Noel Gallagher on tour going to be like? I know, 2011.
Well, I've got a band. I've got a full band. Yeah.
Are those your high-flying birds?
No. High Flying Birds is me and whoever is with me at that time. It's not a band. It's the name of my act, whatever that means. But yeah, no, it's not. I'm not going to be sitting down playing an acoustic guitar, you know, earnestly singing my songs about heartbreak. You know what I mean? I'm going to be stood up and, you know, singing my songs of whatever this album's about. Hope, I guess.
You were touring, and now this time you are the one in the spot. I mean, you were singing before, but now you're the front man.
Yeah.
Does that scare you?
Scared is not the right word. I've been asked this question a lot, and I keep trying to search for the correct word, and I've never quite found it. I'm not scared. What's to be scared of? They've come to listen to music, and that's what I play. And scared is not the right word, but there's a word to describe my apprehension as to what they might expect. If they expect anything more than music, then they're going to be disappointed.
But as a member of the audience, I've always asked myself whether it's, of course it's pretty exciting for a band to walk up on a stage to see like thousands of people, but it's also a bit distant from what the music, maybe the music.
Well, it depends what you want out of it, doesn't it? It depends what you as a member of the audience expect to get out of a gig. Bands can only play to as many people as they want to see them, and that's it. Playing in small venues is not, it's not symbolic of anything other than the fact that that's how many people want to see you. Now, in 5 years from now, I'm playing arenas, then great.
You're not starting over. Your career in music started like more than 20 years ago, and you can never go back to where you started.
No.
And then you were in this band, which happened to be one of the biggest bands in the world. And now you have a new project, and you're not starting over because people know you. You're not a singer-songwriter that just emerged and everybody goes like, I wonder about this person. People know you already.
That's true. That's true.
So what kind of goal do you set for yourself, or is there any goal?
No, just enjoy myself, really.
I'm asking because I can imagine that success is really also a bugger, because you once you've had it, you keep chasing it, so sort of.
Well, it does set a trap. Excuse me, it does set a trap for you. Do you know what I mean? When you've become successful, you try desperately to keep being successful, and you wonder how you got successful, and it's a very subtle trap, and you don't realise it. And if you carry on being successful, it's like, you know, who doesn't want to be successful? You? Anybody? Everybody wants to be a success. You know? But success is great because, you know, you look at your bank statement every now and again and you think, well, that is great, you know. But And fame is okay for me. I don't mind it. You know, it's not something I've ever chased. It depends how seriously you take it. Do you know what I mean? I don't take any of it that seriously. It just is what it is. If you're successful, embrace it. If you're not, tough shit.
You're sort of starting over, but not. What do you expect?
Well, I don't expect anything. I expect there to be... When I went in the studio, you know, you can only do your best. You can only pick the best songs, what you think are the best songs, and put them out there. And if people get it, that's great. What I expect from here on in, I don't expect anything. If one thing I really do expect is if somebody actually buys that album, that they'll like it. I expect them to like it. I'd be disappointed if they buy it and don't like it. I won't be disappointed in bad reviews or anything like that. I expect it to be a lot of hard work. That's it, really. Ask me in a year.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ask me in a year, I'll have a better understanding of what it is. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, I've not done a gig yet, and we're talking about a record, and it's great. And I've got more.
Sort of in a weird bubble, maybe, between the record and the touring.
Well, yeah, I'm in the middle, kind of the holding place, you know, in the waiting room, just waiting to get it done, you know. But it'll come soon enough. Not any, you know. 23rd of October is when I start, and then it finishes whenever people stop wanting to see me, and that's it.
The lyrical theme of the album for you sort of is hope.
Yeah. That's why I said yes.
Did it come together once the songs were finished, or did you realize this when you were writing them?
No, because I've never sat down to write a project. I never sit down and say, right, today I'm going to write a new album of 10 songs. They're songs I've written over a period of time, do you know what I mean? Like from 10 years to 2 years, you know, 8 months, some of the songs are brand new, so. But they do all seem to have a certain sense of hope, and I was staggered when I typed the words out for the first time. Because now I'm a singer, I don't have to write the words down, so I know the words because I remember them. And when I wrote them down for my publishers, it was the first time I got to read them, and I thought they were great, I've got to say. And the verses seemed to be quite reflective, and the choruses seemed to be quite hopeful. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I never designed it like that, but it sounds good. It tells a story almost.
You could have easily decided to, you know, start to retire.
Well, yeah.
Because you're still enjoying making music.
Well, I've never lost the sense of wonder of writing songs, you know. In that sense, I still feel like I'm 25 when I was writing Definitely Maybe and thinking, this is fucking great, you know. I just mastered the art of writing songs, and I loved it. And every time I finished a song, it was like, fucking hell, that's another song. I still get that feeling. And as long as I don't lose that, I'll always make music. Then, like I said to you at the beginning, one night you go to bed and you're not thinking about music. You're just thinking about where we're going to go. Should we go to the park tomorrow? And then the next day you get up and you might listen to something on the radio and you think, I really should go back to the studio. And you just gather up your shit and whatever it is you've got and songs, and then off you go, you know. And I always want it to be like that. I could never be like a person that's like goes from one project to the next all the time, because then life just passes you by.
For the last 20-something years you've been writing songs, and then you go up on a stage and you see people singing along to songs that you wrote. Must be amazing feeling, even after all those years, I imagine.
Well, yeah. It's one thing seeing it in England and the craziness that it generates in England. It's better when you go to a foreign country
where they don't even speak English as their mother language.
The same language. That fucking blows my mind.
Do you ever think back of when you're singing these songs on the stage that you suddenly remember how you wrote them for the first time?
Well, I had to be quite honest, I have to try not to think of anything. I have to try and think of what I'm doing, because if my mind wanders, I start playing the wrong chords and shit like that. You have to kind of be detached, I think, and that's why Oasis was perfect for me, because I wasn't the singer and I could play guitar with my eyes closed, so I could almost be in the stadium with the people, do you know what I mean? And I used to love I would keep out of the way, just sing the odd backing vocal and watch the crowd.
Well, new experiences.
Well, yeah, new experiences. I don't know whether they're good at 45 years of age, but yeah, I'm all for new experiences.
Imagine if you wouldn't have any new experience anymore after 45 years of age.
I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 kids. Every day is a fucking new experience with those 3, and a cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A psychedelic cat. So every day is. They keep me. Forget that. They're fucking insane. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I never thought I'd be kind of learning a new skill at 45. To write half an album once every 3 years, in hindsight, is just not enough. Do you know what I mean? But again, I enjoyed it, and I was willing to make that compromise. But I don't know. It was that was then, and this is now.